Welcome to another video, and as you can see by the title, we've got a 113 kill game with a Panzerbusche anti-tank rifle. Now obviously this is clearly unexpected because I have explained in previous videos when going for the 100 kills with every single gun in the game challenge that the anti-tank rifles were impossible because they just took way too long to reload, along with having to be accurate with one shot. And also having to use obviously having to use the bipod to mount the gun as well. That it was just basically impossible. One or two people left comment on that video saying if I use the rapid fire glitch in the game, where when you obviously hold down the reload button constantly after picking up an item, then you can use the gun's any bolt action sniper in a semi-auto mode. And so I thought, just for a bit of fun, let's give it a go. I had a bit of fun with it for a day or two, and lo and behold, here we are. We get a 100 plus kill game with the Panzerbusche, and just today, as of making this video, I also managed to get the boys AT rifle done as well. So of course, it was impossible to do it in their normal state, but I guess this means I have done officially now 100 kills with every single gun in the game. Either way, I said the challenge counts without these two guns. But we've done it for fun anyway, so hopefully it's a bit of a fun watch, and it was really fun to try and go for the 100 kill games with these guns, although the enemies obviously weren't too happy. But as per usual, if you want to see the specializations I have chosen for this gun, check out the playlist, either in the playlist section on the channel or on the homepage. I've created 4 videos that covers all the specializations that I've chosen, in my opinion, which are the best for Battlefield 5, so obviously go and check those out. I spent the time to make those. But as for the sight, obviously I'm not going to be using the iron sight because the iron sight is it's not clear at all, and is not very good for those longer range kills, as well as the 8x scope, or maybe it's the 6x scope, so the longest range scope is obviously not viable on maps which I've been trying to do this challenge on, like Rotterdam or Devastation, because there's going to be quite a lot of close range encounters, and with low sensitivity like I play, it's very hard to track targets with that high zoom scope, and that's why I've therefore gone for this 3x scope, which is just perfect for all ranges, and is easy to track targets. But yeah, essentially how I've set myself up to get this 100 kill game. Of course, I've got the timed detonator bomb, I'm not sure what it is, on my L1 normal grenade slot, and when you throw that down onto the ground, you can pick it back up. So what I would normally have had to do with my normal settings is pick it up using the square button on PlayStation. And what you want to do is you throw that on the ground, you hold down square, so to pick it back up, and then as long as you're constantly holding down square, you can fire the gun in semi-automatic mode. Obviously, if you take your thumb off of the square, then you can't, you need to redo the glitch again so that it works again. Of course, having to hold down square with your thumb makes it very awkward to then move around the map and play as normal, because you need your right thumb to use the right thumbstick to obviously aim, and so that makes it very, very hard. So what I had to do was I had to remap the buttons. So I changed in the settings of Battlefield 5 to use a custom button layout, and what I did is I changed the reload square button to R2, which would normally be my fire button, and I changed my fire button, which is normally R2, to R1. Now, I did try originally put in the reload button to R1 and the shoot button still as R2, but this made it very hard still, because I then had to use my forefinger, which is the finger I'd normally shoot with, on R1, which is the reload, and I'd have to use my third finger then to shoot with R2, which made it very uncomfortable and made it very hard to maintain a high standard of accuracy. So therefore, using R2 to reload, I was able to use my third finger to reload the gun and interact with doors and pick up ammo and med packs, etc. And then I was able to use R1 to fire the gun. So basically, I was throwing down my grenade, and then picking it up with R2 and just holding down R2 the entire time while I was running around the map. And that meant I could use my right thumb then on the right stick to run around and aim as normal. So yeah, I was pretty much just playing the game as normal, but holding down R2 the entire time. So that's how I was able to do it. Of course, shooting with the R1 has dropped my accuracy a bit still, because obviously if you look at input and dead zone, and the dead zone, obviously the dead zone on my trigger, you know, you can set that to 0 if you want, so that as soon as you tap that trigger, your gun's going to fire. But with the bumper, there's already like a set dead zone. The bumper only activates when you press the bumper down and it clicks. So you've got to press it that far every single time until it clicks. You can't set your own custom dead zone for the bumper. And so it meant that I had to press down the bumper a certain distance to get the gun to fire. And as a result, pressing that bumper down so far was obviously making my controller shake a little bit, and was therefore making it a bit harder to be accurate. But nonetheless, you know, that was the best setup I found to run around the map as normal with this glitch. That said, this gun was still very hard to get the 100 kills with, even with having the semi-automatic mode, you know, glitch, or the rapid fire. You know, it got loads and loads and loads of hit markers, like 90 damage, and just wouldn't get a kill, and that got me killed still. So obviously that's one of the big things which is a problem with it. And again, it's also one of the guns, like the MMGs, we have to use the bipod to be able to aim down the sight, which meant most of the game you obviously had to be standing still, which made you an easy target, and it meant you couldn't move around the map as freely to go and find enemies and get kills, and therefore you needed enemies to be moving towards where you were, or you needed to basically have perfect positioning as to where the enemies may or may not be. And if the enemies didn't flow naturally in this particular game you're playing, then obviously they wouldn't come into your sight, and you'd be running around the game getting killed trying to hit fire. So it was still a very, very hard challenge regardless of having this glitch. And that is why I believe it is 100% impossible to do the 100 game with this gun in its normal state. Now, one final tip I'd want to say, if you are going to try this setup, or just something that helped me get the 100 kill game, is you'll see a lot of people who do this glitch, they will use the trip mines, which will obviously replace their spawn beacon. It was much more beneficial for me to use the grenade to throw down on the ground and pick back up, because the grenade you can just throw down on the ground anywhere, whereas the trip mines, obviously, you know, with the same with the spawn beacon, you could have a problem placing it on the ground, and it might not be able to place on the ground, which might get you killed, and it wastes a lot of time trying to find a place to place it down and then pick it back up. So the grenade you could just throw down anywhere. Obviously the grenade is on the L1 bumper as well, rather than the right arrow on my D-pad, so it meant I could keep a firm grip on the controller, and obviously just use the L1 bumper for the grenade to start and get the semi-automatic mode glitch. As well as then using the grenade instead of the trip mines, it meant I could keep my spawn beacon, where you'll see with the Boys AT video, we're playing on Rotterdam, it meant I could keep the spawn beacon down and keep myself spawning on the bridge, which is the power position I wanted to be in, to be able to see as many enemies as possible. If I'd used trip mines instead of the spawn beacon, I wouldn't have had the spawn beacon, and I would therefore have had to keep spawning and running a long time, wasting a lot of time to get to the position I wanted to be in. So that's why using the grenade is way more beneficial when doing this glitch, rather than using the trip mines. But yeah, that pretty much covers it for this game. It was very, very fun. I probably won't be using this again, because I know it does annoy a lot of other players, and it's not something I just wanted to do it for the 100 kill games challenge. If you want to know how obviously to play and get high kill games on Devastation, be sure to check out any of the previous 100 kill game videos where I just use a normal weapon, and I'll talk through the game as normal. But this was a pretty unique one, and so I just wanted to talk about how I went about using this gun and using this glitch. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.
Girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. with their nails done.